Backlog.
Yo! What
Yo,
issue are we on? What were we saying?
Bobcat, thank you for the tier 1. It's been
Hey,
subbing
shout
for
out.
6 whole months.
Shout outs. So issue 15, bruh. We're running up the number.
Yeah, I know. Ever since we started doing this this consistently,
The new
the
format. We're
yeah.
making that content, making them donuts. Nah, it's cool. It's cool to be doing something. It's cool to be part of something. Like, even if it's just like for fun, for enjoyment, for other people, it's all good time. So no, it's cool.
Right. I kind of feel the same way. I've been really enjoying doing the podcast every week.
Yeah.
It gives me something to work on when I'm at work.
Or
Like I'll be thinking about things or trying to keep my eye out for new news stories or whatever it may be. And it's kind of fun talking about cracking open like news stories or whatever it is. Like, for example, found out today that Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to be a thing.
that was a surprise. That was out of nowhere. Shit. Like, I knew some like 20th anniversary stuff was coming up. Or I found that out today, but then all of a sudden, boom! Like, Kingdom Hearts 4 teaser trailer. And it's like a super teaser. Like, I'm sure we won't still see the game for another year or two, but
Yeah,
still pretty sick. It looks amazing. Apparently, it's on UE4. And because of the UE5 just dropping, they even said they're going to port it to UE5. So, no, that game will probably look pretty as fuck when it comes out.
yeah. Did you wanna crack into that now, or did you want to save that for when we come across it in
We'll get
the
into it. Yeah.
current events?
We'll get into it. But yeah. No, let's start off. I guess how we normally do, and we'll just go from there.
So, dude, how was your week, man?
It was pretty solid. Can't really complain. Try to take it back to basics, get back to small goals. To work up to big goals. So, one of my longtime goals was learning to be a better typist. Because I'm trash. I was one of those kids that always kind of like fell asleep in the dank computer labs back in like the early 2000s, because I always had like the lights off, and I never really got good at typing. And I've always wanted to work in like a computer field, so like it's something I need to learn at this point. So like I bought a few typing games, typing software. I already had Typing of the Dead Overkill, and the original like Typing House of the Dead 2.
Right.
So eventually, when I get good enough, I'll work my way up to do those. Those have some fun little like movie game packs where like you play like the dialogue of like Predator or Arnold Schwarzenegger movies or stuff like that.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah, that is. Yeah, there's whole dialogue packs for movies and shit. Especially in Overkill, which is one of the more modern typing games. But yeah, no, like it's those games have had like a modding / like make your own word pack scenes for a while. So there's a
That's
lot of
awesome.
funny lines they can get you to say. So yeah, that's probably gonna be one of my new kind of pastimes / hobbies until I can get up to like a respectable speed, as well as fun. Not to mention the new House of the Dead remake came out on the Switch this week, so I haven't got it yet. But I was looking at it, I was looking at the reviews, and I'll probably pick it up eventually.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that comes to PC. The Christmas present I got myself finally came,
Oh shit.
which was the pair of my Sinden light guns. So this has been forever ago. I ordered them in like December. But yeah, all the way from across the pond, as they say. Uh, the yeah, the great UK. The courtesy of the genius himself, Andrew Sinden, who brought light gun technology back into the 21st century. Yeah, I got the red blue versions with the recoil, so I'm pretty excited to try them out. I'm trying to curate a good list of like light gun games and emulators to like start demoing them on.
Oh hell yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, like I can't wait to test them out. I finally got them. As I said, like the orders take a few months to get. As I said, like I ordered mine 3 months ago, but it is cool to finally get those in. And I can't wait to have like a light gun game day where I get to try it. Just nothing like the feeling of like recreating, like an old school arcade, but like from the comfort of your own home. So
Yeah,
no, that's pretty sick. I'm pretty hyped about that.
yeah,
But
absolutely.
yeah, other than seeing Sonic, which we might do a little bit of talking about today as well. With you, of course. We met up to see that. That was mostly my week. I don't know. What about yours?
Well, I have like a bunch of random things that have been going on lately. I've been on an off note. I've been working on kind of updating. Yo, how's it going, Breezels? I've been working on updating uh my retro game setup a little bit.
Nice.
So one problem that I've been having is I've been having a power issue. So like there's been some flickering when I have like certain games on,
Weird.
and I'm thinking that
So wait, what are you playing on PC?
well, like if I stream a retro game, it will just have like slight flicker, like what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah. But like,
Artifacting.
what are you streaming from? Is it from your Mister? Is it from your like actual like modded retro consoles? Like what device are you using to stream?
Actually, just modern retro consoles.
Okay.
So the other thing that I do as well is when I do stream retro games, is from my phone, I record the footage straight from the TV. Um, so that's where like some of the artifacting is coming from, and so it's kind of like, well, the
I've
TV.
noticed that on your TikTok or Instagram, you have that like you use a CRT and just use your phone to record from the CRT,
I do,
which
yeah.
is it's cute. But what like there's no like Elgato or like capture solution just to record the video natively from the as it goes to the CRT.
So here's the thing: is I absolutely can do that, and
Hmm.
I when I stream, I basically do that. Um, and unless it's like stream specific footage, like say I'm playing like KOF 15, then I'll take the rip from the Elgato or the this basically the Twitch footage. But if it's like a retro game specifically, or if it's gameplay from a retro game, then I want to take it from a CRT. And the reason being is that there's no actual there's no like kind of originality and like kind of gameplay anymore. So when people see my recordings, they know it's me by like the TV that I'm using. Because most anybody can steal gameplay footage. It may not even be
Yeah.
like a lot of people do.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I see what you mean. I don't necessarily. Maybe I don't follow the space well enough, but like, I feel like a lot of people aren't going out there stealing gameplay footage so much as that. Like, it's just ugh. It's just that you want like a specific look and specific brand,
yeah.
and having a generic looking thing is, that's what everyone does. You want your own thing. But yeah, I don't know about how much like theft of other people's gameplay footage really goes on.
Oh well, I mean, if you're on TikTok,
Hmm.
there's tons of theft of
Interesting. Didn't know that.
it's like it's a I don't know if it's a problem, but it's just
Hmm.
accepted.
Hmm.
Like people will post, Team 4 Star stuff. Like
Hmm.
I've seen people post all of Team 4 Star on their TikTok, which I mean is eventually going to get taken down at some point. But like that's how they get followers. Is like, oh, that people are like, I love Team 4 Star, and then they just straight up take other people's content.
Weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so whenever I make something, I absolutely try to make sure that it's mine.
Hmm.
Uh, and one way that I can do that for sure is like I use my CRT, and no one else really has this. I mean, maybe somebody has the same CRT, but it just has my kind of look, and it gives it like a nostalgic feel too. So, a lot of people kind of like that. I don't know. it's kind of like ASMR in a way. Like they see
Yeah.
it and it's like just it brings them back with the nostalgia and everything like that. And I don't know, I just prefer the way it looks too.
Yeah.
Um, and
You
it,
know, I mean, it is 100% unique. Like, I mean, a lot of people I've seen try to emulate the old CRT vibe with just using CRT filters
it's not the
on their
same.
emulators, but I mean, yeah, it really isn't the same.
It also
I
looks
still
like
like the look, but
hot
I mean,
garbage.
I've seen some good filters. I don't know, like I've seen like Spooky mess around with like Retro Tink, and a couple other retro filters, and I've seen some ones that aren't bad, but yeah, I mean, it definitely looks different.
It if it's like maybe if you could get away with it like with an old, well, I don't know, with what are they called? The old CRT tube computer monitors.
Yeah.
Like if you put like a filter on that, like a CRT filter, it looks really good. It
Mm,
actually looks like an arcade machine,
yeah.
but it just doesn't, for whatever reason, whenever I use like a CRT filter on like a flat screen TV, it just to me it looks like trash. It's almost like using like 16:9 on a game that's like 4:3 or something like that. It just doesn't look right.
The graphical fidelity isn't there. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. It is definitely a vibe. Like, a lot of like that's one of the things that I kind of even complain about when I'm going back and looking at like emulated play of like older games, like PlayStation or anything else like that. It
Hmm.
just looks so different. And yeah, you can throw some like filters on to make it try to look better, but like it just the lighting, the tone, the polys, everything. Like without the filter of kind of the old television, it doesn't look the same.
For me, if I'm emulating something, believe it or not, I want it to look as crisp as possible. So I
Yeah.
don't it when I want the pixels to be sharp and I want everything to be colorful. And so that's kind of what I go for. So I go for the opposite of like a CRT because I want to see, because it's actually how, I mean, other than when people will design games around CRTs, like the artwork and stuff. Like I don't know if you know about this, but
Yeah, like the Final Fantasies are definitely you can see that in like the character models even.
yeah, or even in Sonic 2, where there's like the good example is like there's a waterfall, right? And the waterfall has like a certain texture to it that if you play it on like if you emulate it, uh that basically it when you use it in composite, it hides that filter and it makes it look like a waterfall. You know what I mean? So it's like people and game designers actually specifically make games around CRTs of the time.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah, no, I mean that was kind of the cool thing about the pixel art era is everything was designed to look good on a CRT.
yeah.
Now that we've left it, things don't look the same. Yeah,
And
I
and
totally agree.
and those CRT lines like obviously smooth out like the edges of the sprites. So it kind of like obviously doesn't look as sharp, but I don't know, to me it just depends on what I'm playing it on. I like I said, if it's on a PC, I want it to be as sharp as possible. It's on a CRT, like I just want it to look like it's on a CRT. Either
Yeah.
way, if you take the 4:3 picture of like an emulated game, like a Super Nintendo game, and you make it like 16:9, unless there's like some kind of natural hack going on there, it just there it'll just take all the pixels and the sprites and they'll just be slightly like oblonged, I guess.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because I've stared at pictures for too long or games, but that's just me. Hold on one second.
Do 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 do
CR-
intermission music.
Bob, yeah, you say CRTs hurt your eyes, man. I don't know. I really like it. I mean, if believe it or not, there are HD CRTs that people make. Which I
Yeah. What were you saying? Sorry. I think it's just a combination of making sure you have like the color settings and all the lighting settings kind of dialed into a preference. But yeah, I mean different people have different light sensitivities too.
yeah, I mean, I was kind of blown away by the idea that there are HD CRTs where people would use them for like television, like working in TV or something like that.
Yeah, Digital Foundry actually did like a really cool video where they showed how much faster, like, or they talked about how much faster rendering on a CRT was versus any of the modern modders.
Yeah.
Because just the whole image generation process is different, and it's actually way faster on a CRT. But of course, they're big and they're bulky, and you can't really miniaturize them anymore. So we moved away from that technology. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, it still does some pretty crazy things performance wise.
well, I mean, it literally, if you use like one of those professional video monitors, like the ones that
Yep.
they would use, it looks perfect. The colors are exactly how they're supposed to be. There's no artifacting whatsoever. And it just looks right. But I could play Metroid, like let's say Metroid Prime. I could hook it up to like that monitor, and it'll look like it's like an upscaled HD game, but it's not. It's like 240. It's like four. I'm sorry. Like, what's it? Is it 480i? I think it is.
Yeah.
It'll
I
be
think that was
480. It'll
that's
be
how it was back in the day.
480i, but it'll be perfect. I
Yeah,
think a
it'll
lot
just
of
look crisp.
it'll look crisp. Like I remember I had a Dreamcast and I was like really always thinking about like upscaling it and using HD or whatever. And then all at one day I just took it and I bought like the VGA adapter that cuz the Dreamcast has like VGA capabilities with a lot of games. And I hooked it up to my TV with VGA cuz it had like VGA port and it looked perfect. Like it looked as clear as day, like exactly how it should be. And so that's kind of like ever since then I've whatever it was supposed to be made on, that's what I go for. And also, the zero lag is a dream for me. But
Yeah.
uh but yeah, other than, the CRTs and stuff like that and my love for retro gaming, um basically I've just been updating my whole setup, been trying to um get a new switcher. So basically, it's going to take the signals and it's going to multiply them so that they're from a powered source, so that there isn't going to be like any artifacting, and it will basically have a cleaner source of power. So if by chance there is artifacting from the power source, it should mitigate that quite a bit.
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit more research on eventually modding my arcade one up cab
Yep.
at some point. Like I'm gonna try to set that up this summer. So I was trying to research on how to mod it, and no, that'll be a fun little project. I'm pretty excited. I'm definitely gonna set it up like the default way and play around on it for that for a while. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting a chance to add more games to that. It should be really cool.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
but yeah,
and then other than that, I think I've been making plans for like future videos and trying to come up with like struggle points and like reasons why I've kind of felt like a little bit unmotivated lately. I think I've just had been having writer's block.
yeah.
And so I just like sat down and I wrote down like everything that I still need to do. And so it kind of making a plan to kind of, know that okay, this is what I got to do every day, and even if I don't know what I have to do, I can just look at this list and I can find something. And I think the problem with like doing the reviews like I've been doing it is that if I don't see anything that I'm interested in, I don't want to make a review for it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, I mean, that's kind of important too. I mean, it's one thing to say you're reviewing all the latest stuff. I mean, and like to a certain extent, you should try to review what's popular.
mhm,
But I mean, if you have no interest in it, then you just have no interest in it. You know what I mean? Like, I still haven't bought Elden Ring yet. Like, not that it doesn't look like a great game, but A, I don't have time to play it. B, I can wait. You know what I mean? Like,
I
I'm
can
not I'm
too.
not super interested in going out and having to play that right now. So I mean, yeah, I mean, don't if that's not it's I mean, make the content you want to make always. Don't be forced to make something unfun just because you feel like that's what's popular.
Yeah. And the other thing I've been looking into is starting like a diet, but I want this time around I want to try something new. I actually want to try fasting.
Yeah, That's honestly like I keep track of a lot of the dieting subreddits, just to try to get inspiration for trying to figure out what I want to do. And
Hmm.
I'm kind of on the same page. Like I think this summer, in addition to getting back to more exercising, I'm gonna start doing a little bit of like, one meal a day type still stuff, or like 2 meals one day, 1 meal another day, or like alternating it. But yeah, I definitely feel like a lot of people are having really good success with types of fasting right now, more so than like any other type of like fad diet, or eating a specific type of food or anything like that. I feel like most people are just having the most success with fasting models. So yeah, no, I'm gonna try to probably try something similar. In addition to just getting back to running, getting back to body weight stuff.
I think,
Eventually getting back to lifting, but I want to get the body weight stuff really well mastered before I do that.
yeah. I've also been looking in. There's like a gym that's like right down the street from my work,
Yes.
and I was looking at, either going before or after work so that way it's a little bit easier. Like I don't like I try to make sure that I don't go to the gym on days that I'll have a day off because I just won't go. Um and it's just because I notice that I'm the type of person where I don't like to go out of my way to go places if I don't have to leave the house. Um So I just, I want to make a schedule, like a regimented schedule to where it's like I don't have to think about what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it on days X, Y, and Z and make it as like streamlined and comfortable as possible, other than the actual work. Because obviously the biggest challenge is not the workout, it's just getting into the door for me. Um and
I mean, well, I think that's true with any activity. It's not hard necessarily doing it once you're there. It's hard getting there.
yeah, it's hard.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Newton's first law of motion, they're right there. The object at rest tends to stay at rest. So yeah, I mean, you gotta sometimes it's the getting yourself out the door that's the hardest part. But it's often the most important part. So yeah, I mean, I agree the same way. A lot of modern strategies involve setting yourself up so that's easier. Like I've heard of people sometimes like going to sleep in their gym clothes, that way they can wake up and go to the gym.
Yeah.
Stuff that makes that getting over that gap a little easier. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking for similar strategies. Um, since it's it's spring and soon to be summer, I'm trying to get outside to exercise more. So I'll probably be doing stuff like that, or I try to make sure I get some like good outside exercise clothes. I was thinking about even buying like a small, like maybe like 6 by 10 foot section of like astroturf to throw out on my front lawn,
Oh, hell yeah.
and just be able to like do like small body weight workouts outside. That way I'm getting sun and I'm working out without getting like super dirty. So that'll be kind of cool. You know. So yeah, but like finding good ways to work out.
Yeah, and I know like one other thing is like I'm just trying to look. Like I'm trying to do things I haven't done before, and so it's just because I think a big problem that I have is I get bored with my workouts. Like I'll do the same workout for like 6 months, obviously like the same three workouts, and I just wind up being like, oh man, I like it just gets
That's an
old.
even yeah, that's an even bigger excuse to actually like, dig deep and research, more fun workouts so you can constantly, make it interesting.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
it's one of the reasons why I'm so sad that as a modern adult, especially with kind of the crumbling of kind of the middle class economy, it's really hard to find the time and money for hobbies anymore. Especially like sports related hobbies. Like there used to be a bunch of like adult leagues and adult teams and stuff like that. And now with COVID, like I'm not even sure how fast that stuff is getting back up, but you know what I mean? Like a lot of those not only were great for like social aspects for a lot of adults, but also
Hmm.
like keeping people in shape too. So I'm hoping, at some point, a lot of that stuff not only comes back, but becomes more of a focus in American society.
Yeah, I mean, I've even looked into doing like gymnastics or like parkour or even what is it, like calisthenics, just to kind of like I've never done that stuff before, and I'm like, all right, well that looks like it's fun. Why
Yeah,
don't
no,
I try to do that?
that shit sounds super interesting. Like I know there's a circus school somewhere in the town I live in, so I was thinking about maybe like stopping by and checking out one of their weekend classes and seeing kind of what kind of stuff they did.
Um,
But also even joining like a adult soccer league if there are any available around here, I think would be super fun.
Yo, 69. To answer your question, um, running into issues with screen flow, have you tried tweaking the shutter speed on your recording? I have not tried that. Most of the issues have just been coming from the hardware itself and the actual CRT monitors I've been using. Instead of like uh, the recording device. So, um, the only thing that's been giving me trouble with my actual Elgato is just like I think it's the what is it? The GameCube Game Boy player. But that's actually something I'll definitely try to look into. Exposure skin and native refresh rate. Yeah, no, thank you for the advice, man. Uh, but yeah. I mean, other than that, I think just trying to look into obviously the new workout and everything like that, and trying to go to a new gym where they have different equipment is really, I think, one thing I'm trying to do. And so I think I'm going to start with the fast tomorrow. And my new gym membership starts on. I can start doing it on the 14th or 15th.
Nice.
So that's going to be my next week. I'm looking forward to it. Um, and other than that, just having to switch the stream schedule up a little bit because now we're having Kamen Rider Club on Mondays instead of Sundays. Um, and I want to try to figure out like a new way to stream so I can stream like 3 to 4 times a week. I mean, other than doing the podcast.
Yeah,
Um, and then
yeah, like
let's
like you mentioned doing like a retro Fridays. I'd be down
yes,
to hop in and do a little bit of that with you too. Like
absolutely.
I need to build more hobby time into my schedule. And yeah, no, doing retro games with you sounds like a gas. So yeah, no, I'd be down.
Retro Fridays have been really fun. And that's what I'm saying. Like that's another reason why I've been trying to fix up my CRT is so I can actually do a light gun night on like PS1 or Sega Saturn or something like that.
Not to mention, like we live close enough that even if we did something, remote,
Mhm.
Parsec would work pretty well. So,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Yeah, that would
yeah.
work too. But I don't know how like light guns would work on a. I mean,
No,
maybe it
no,
would just
no,
be
no.
like.
If we're gonna do the light gun stuff, I would actually, come over your house. Yeah, easy.
I mean, I would also like if I could set it up some way so like we could have a green screen behind us and then just play retro games through a CRT.
So,
That would be cool too. But I
I
also
mean,
am down for
I'd
Parsec
look.
as
I
well.
mean, as I said, eventually, if I ever get my game room set up in my house, I might be able to do that because I have
Yeah.
been kind of pricing out green screens, but that's a at least a month long project. And I only have 2 days a week to work on that, so it won't come soon, but maybe by the end of the summer.
Um, and then let's see. And I suppose the only other thing I've been kind of doing is the I watched Moon Knight, which we're going to talk about soon, and I've been also I got caught up on Shenmue, which
Oh, nice, yeah. I need to go back and check that out. I actually haven't been watching any anime this season yet, and I know technically the new official season just started last week for most new shows, but like I don't know. Like it's one of those things where like I just there's nothing that like interests me that I need to go watch it immediately. Especially with so many new, good live action shows being out right now.
yeah.
But there are some things that I want to check out eventually. So yeah, we can talk about all that too.
Yeah, I mean, Shenmue's been progressing pretty quickly, and I'm kind of happy about it. And I don't know if like I should spoil anything about the show, but
I mean,
essentially,
the game's been out for years, so I don't mind.
yeah, it's basically where they are in the show. It's pretty simple. So the has already made it to China, and he's trying to find the man who killed his father and
Well, that's
understand.
that's that's all the way to game two, right? Like that's
Yeah,
well past the first game.
yeah, but they're still like on the same basic like idea of the first game of like I'm still trying to find the guy who killed my dad. And then there's like lots of morality kind of themes going on where it's like, well, should we teach Rio martial arts? Will he use it for the right reasons? And that's like a huge point of the story right now. And so they have him doing like all these like really ambiguous trials to show what Rio's intentions are or to make him quit, whichever, before they actually show him how to do like techniques or martial arts or something like that. He's actually like learning principles right now. Um,
Now,
and
does anything does it like, as someone who was a martial artist, like does anything kind of like resonate with you in with that, or is it
uh,
all just kind of like this is like an idealized version of what martial arts training was like?
it's well, I mean, it's oh boy, in some ways, yes, but it's the show isn't necessarily strictly about martial arts. It's more or less a murder mystery that has like that instead of like a gunfight, they're gonna fight hand to hand combat. Um, so it's strange. It does have martial arts things in it, but there's never any training montage whatsoever.
Yeah.
Um, like other than like, hey, I'm gonna teach you how to do this technique, and then they kind of go over it briefly, and then after that, he might use it in a fight later, but um, it's like it's very like kind of stereotyped like martial arts stuff. Like I'm this one technique is gonna it's gonna help you, whereas that's not really how martial arts work. It's like
No,
you're not gonna be able to learn how to do like a palm or a headbutt that's gonna be able like the game changer that you want.
it's not gonna be like a video game where you just learn that's one special move to level up.
Which I mean, it was from a video game, so I can't really blame it for doing that. And
Truth,
it's so
truth.
because it basically is like, oh look, you can do these. Which also, by the way, the original Shenmue combat system is really fun, because it actually
Tekken, right?
has like fighting game inputs in it.
Yeah,
So
wasn't it based on Tekken?
Virtua Fighter.
Virtual Fighter.
It was
Okay.
originally supposed to be a Virtua Fighter RPG,
Yeah.
which it kind of like on the Sega Saturn, which it evolved like on the Dreamcast, but uh, so no, not really, but also like maybe you could say yes because there's like a certain amount of hazing that goes into like trying to like go into any kind of like hierarchy of like whatever it is like skill level. Like you can't just show up and people are gonna be like, yeah, we'll teach you whatever you want. It's gonna be like, well, okay, are you gonna try to kill this guy? Because I don't think that that's right. And so then there's sort of like a test of morality towards him and these other Chinese masters that are kind of in this small community. Um, but yeah, it so far it's been pretty good. But there's Rio also doesn't ever explain his intention either. Like that he's looking for the guy, but he never outwardly says I'm going to kill him or I'm not going to kill him.
Yeah.
He'll just say I want to figure out the mystery of what happened
Gotcha.
and find the guy who did it.
And
But
is it
there's
like that in the is it like that in the game as well?
yeah, it's basically it's like it's other than skipping over like certain sections and details, it's pretty much page for page like the same as the game, which is
Cool. I
cool.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that is cool that it's like a faithful adaptation then.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is that people can't since Shenmue really hasn't aged that well. A lot of people don't have the patience to go through. Like I didn't have the patience to go through the first game. I made it quite a bit ways through, but I don't know. I just got bored of it. But I did like the characters and like the skill, like the mini games and stuff. But it just wasn't enough to. It just felt old hat in a lot of ways. Like other games, like obviously, what is it? Probably Yakuza do it better. Like they kind of mastered whatever it was
I
that
think that Shenmue kind of
Shenmue put on the table. Yeah.
yeah, and the mini games are more fun. Like I feel like a lot of the mini games in Shenmue weren't really well thought out for entertainment, more to just to pad out the playtime. Maybe that's an unfair
Uh,
assessment, but
well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're not wrong because there's a day night cycle and time
yep,
cycle. So like
yep.
you have to meet people by a certain day. Um,
It's very dating some like in that way, or
yeah,
visual novel.
yeah, but I mean, for the time, it was like very much ahead of its time, and actually was the most expensive game ever created at for its time.
Didn't know that. Cool.
Yeah, which I mean, it shows, and like if you look at other Dreamcast games, there's nothing really like it on the Dreamcast or on the PS1 or actually any game from that generation. There's nothing really like Shenmue that existed for the time. It wasn't until like the PS2 started coming out, but even not even early PS2, uh, you know, was kind of like It's 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 almost like I appreciate Shenmue for being a product of its time and being kind of an innovator. You know what I mean?
No, 100%. I mean, that's kind of what I want to. What the best thing about it was is it. I'm not gonna say it created its own genre, but it
Hmm.
was it was kind of a vision ahead of its time of what video games could be when you combine both like story and premise and mini game. It definitely amazingly. It felt like kind of like a cool lived in universe atmosphere, which
Yeah.
I feel like not a lot of and it did it so early on. And I think a lot of games are still copying some of its ideas.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like Yu Suzuki is the guy who created. I mean, he also created Virtua Fighter and a bunch of other games. Like he's kind of a legend, but he's also really a strange guy because he doesn't actually play video games. He just never has played video games. Like he just creates video games, but he doesn't play them. So he always has like this sort of original look, or you can see his like own kind of original outlook on what he's kind of creating at the time. Where it's not like he's influenced by other people. He's mostly influenced by like movies and stuff like that, which is
Yeah,
really what he was trying to make. And he intended Shenmue to be like a 6 part to 9 part series. And there, you can tell, like, obviously Shenmue 3 came out like what, 2019, 2020. So that really wasn't going to happen. So
no,
which is
yeah,
why it's like, well, we have the anime now. So he can actually tell the story
tell
that
the
he wants to
story.
tell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Which
which is
is
cool.
yeah, yeah, and so like and obviously with the pacing being a lot better, I'm excited to see where the story goes beyond Shenmue 3, or if there's a Shenmue 4, I don't know. Um, Either way, it's a really neat game, and game and show, and I really dig it. I think
Yeah, I would love to see Shenmue like tackled by some more modern game developers, like some of the guys who did the Yakuza games, though. They try to figure out like how we can update this to make this more entertaining for the casual consumer, or the mainstream consumer.
like a
But
reboot, you mean?
not a reboot, but like just make Shenmue a little bit more desirable for people coming from the Yakuza games or games that have kind of iterated on what Shenmue started but made it more popular.
Well, I mean, pretty much the Yakuza series already does that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what I'm saying. So I'd love to see some of the Yakuza developers go back and try to support the original franchise.
I think they were the people. Well, not ironically, but they're the people that made Virtua Fighter Ultimate Showdown. So they're kind of like working together with Yu Suzuki in a lot of things. So it's not it wouldn't be unreal. They both work for Sega. They're both very easily could do that.
But
Um,
it is cool that the anime gets a way to explore, the tale in a way that, a lot of people who have never played the games or honestly will never play the games
yeah.
get to now see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interest. Like I said, there's a lot of interesting, cool characters that I've always wanted to learn about through the games, but like just again, never had the patience to kind of will through it. And like the fact that like we're on episode 9 and we're already on the second game is, I mean, I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, man. So I'm looking forward to more. I think episode 10's already out, so I'm definitely gonna check that out this week when I get a chance. Um, I think the only other thing that kind of went on was the very last couple of things is I played some more KOF 15. That was really fun. Got my butt kicked. Really need to start practicing that game. Uh, and then I watched some Ultraman, which was like I'm still like debating on making this a series or not. But I'm like kind of want to call it like weird shit I saw in Tokusatsu,
Yeah.
where
Yeah, no, there's a lot of weird shit. And just a lot of those like I wish there were an American channel for like not only tokusatsu but like 80s and 90s action shows. 80s and 90s Japanese action shows from you know I'm saying the sentence all out of order, but like basically like a Japanese like an American channel for action shows from the era of the 80s and 90s because they had so much silly but entertaining stuff. I would just love to be able to watch it. Like even if it's subbed, like you don't have to dub it for me. I just want to watch it because it's crazy.
yeah,
Uh,
there
like
was
it definitely felt like like Japan was like drinking deep on the like action movie culture of America and like taking over Japan and like throwing it in random stuff, and it was so entertaining to watch.
yeah, like in one of the episodes that I watched, Ultraman, there's like a water tower with like the top ripped off, and he like takes a monster and stuffs it into the water well, and then literally starts stomping on the monster inside of it like he's making like wine or something like that. Um, but
Crazy.
the monster doesn't die; he just becomes really really small. And then Ultraman chucks him into the sun. So you know,
I love it.
and then like the other thing that happened was there was an Ultraman episode where like a crew member is like in a relationship with like one like this girl who winds up being a kaiju, and then the girl is like asking this guy to like kill her basically. Uh yeah, and then only for him to not do it, and then Ultraman just beats her up like as a kaiju, and then basically, you know, killing her or whatever it may be. And then at the end, like this crew member is like really distraught that his love died or whatever. And then the episode is just like him saying it's okay because it's all a part of becoming a man. You
That
know,
makes
just
I love it.
yeah, just like wacky shit like that where it's like, well, that you're kind of I feel like you might be it's just like that stuff it down mentality of like
Yeah.
I don't feel bad, it's fine.
Oh, I get it. I get it. I get it.
Becoming a
Okay.
man,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, like uh you can tell like he has like these he definitely is traumatized by it, but he's you know he ain't gonna deal with it, man. He just gonna drink
Yeah.
just like what real
He's
men
gonna
do.
drink a stiff Manhattan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
by the way, speaking of which, you know how
Yeah.
we went to go see Sonic the other day,
Yes.
and there was that lady at the bar who
Yes.
she was a terrible waitress.
Dude, she messed up our receipts, like our orders. Like she switched the drinks on mine and Dylan's order, and like so I paid for his drink and he paid for mine. I mean,
Oh,
not that it was off by a lot, but it was just like just redo it.
you
But I'm like, whatever. Like I don't. It was just yeah. She was. Oh man, like bro, like I get it. Like you're at a bar all day. It's a weird job that combines both like trying to be social
right.
and like also being a server, but like I it was hilarious. Like she was like, I mean, hopping into our conversation, which like isn't a bad thing, but like we're
Mm.
talking about like gyro aiming, and then she
It's
corrects us to be
Giro.
like euro. And I'm like, we're not talking about food.
Yeah,
That killed me. And she's like, well, excuse me, I'm sorry for butting in. And it's like, bruh.
why would you do that?
Like, like, because it even shows that you weren't listening. Like she just heard the
Yep,
word, and immediately had to correct us. And it's like that's not even what we were talking about. Like
it's true.
that's definitely one of those like confidently incorrect moments.
Dude, she thought she was way better at being a bartender than she was, like to a fault.
And no,
Uh
I don't want to hate. I don't want to hate because I mean she like But like,
She was really
I mean, because
nice.
like she kind of like it's not like it's not like she messed up anything too crazy, but it's just like, bruh, like calm
Yeah.
down.
That.
Just
Like she
calm down. Like bring it down a notch. Like she was like it was like she was even trying too hard personality wise. Like because you could tell that was her like fake like I work personality that she like tries to
come
put on
back
to
and give me a tip.
be like too social. And it's
Yeah.
just like, bruh, like you're I want none of this. Like dial it down 5 notches. Please just be a regular human being.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know if you also remember, but like, well, I didn't say anything until after, but you remember when like she made my drink or whatever that was? She gave me the wrong drink. She
What do
gave
you mean?
you know how like I think I ordered like some kind of like mixed drink or something like that. I can't remember
Oh, I
what.
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, she
No.
just gave me straight bourbon in a glass with a cherry on it, no ice.
I thought that was like a mix or something.
No,
No?
it was mixed with nothing.
Oh shit.
It
So
was
wait,
literally just
that's
a shot.
crazy.
So that's why it was
That's
so strong. And she's
yeah.
like, "Why?" You know, and I think you tried it.
Yeah, that was pretty strong.
Yeah,
And
and
it did not taste good.
that's
And
because
like
it was
it
just a
might have
shot.
tasted good with ice, but by itself it did not taste good.
What the fuck was it? Like she walked like I told her the drink and she like walked away and she like gave you guys all your like food and drinks first and I was just like sitting there the whole time. Like I was the last like you guys got your drinks and food first before I got my one drink. And then only for her to get that one drink wrong. But
Bruh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I felt I mean like she was just being so fucking extra. But
She was
anyway,
so extra. Super
uh
extra.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, like I start talking about one of the pizzas and she's like, "Oh my god, you have to try it." And I'm like, "Bruh,
Just
I
take a
will. Just
breather.
calm down."
Yeah,
Like
it was hard
and then
to
she was telling us
relax.
she was telling us what days were the best to come and I'm like, "Bruh, like I'm not driving 11 minutes out of my way just for a slice of pizza."
Yeah,
Like you can relax. I'm just like, "Thanks, but I'll show up when I show up."
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I was like, I don't like, yeah, like some, like I get it, but like, just chill, just all. That would it would have been nice if she chilled out a little bit.
oh, for sure.
Um, like you could definitely tell she was putting it on, and it was
Yeah,
like, bro, you're trying way too
she
hard.
was probably
Trying
new or something.
way too hard. To this. I don't know. She was just trying too hard.
Yeah,
That was classic trying too hard.
for sure.
Um, but yeah, sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it be. I love that like gyro juro. Like you weren't even listening to our conversation.
Yeah, yeah, like I mean like gyration, like
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. It was just strange.
Well, because I was
She
talking about
just
like the gyro. I was talking about the gyroscopic controls on like the
yeah,
Switch, like the
gyro
gyroscopic
controls. Yeah.
aiming. Yeah, but like, yeah, I was just like,
It's
whatever.
gyro.
Yeah,
Was it gyro or
yeah,
was it
and it's like, yeah, she said it's Euro, and I'm like, bro, we weren't talking about the food, but thanks.
why would you like not listen to someone's conversation and then just chime in to correct somebody about a word? Like it just seemed kind of strange.
Don't know. As I said, confidently incorrect.
Oh, for sure.
But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway,
Yo,
so on that note, do we want to talk at least a little bit about Sonic? Because that's what we went to see the other day.
did you? Well, my question is, did you actually did you watch Moon Knight by chance?
So yeah. If we're gonna talk about Moon Knight first, I did. I watched both episodes. I kind of caught up on a lot of my shows this week. So I caught up on Halo, which I can mention a little bit. And I definitely caught up on Moon Knight.
Yeah,
First 2 episodes. But yeah, Moon Knight was good.
yeah.
It was weird but good. It might end up being kind of one of my favorite Marvel shows this year. It definitely's got kind of a fresh, unique feel to it that's different than the other shows so far. I'm hoping with like more supernatural shit, we eventually get like a Blade show or
Oh, for
movie,
sure. Yeah.
or at least a Ghost Rider show or movie. But if we're gonna delve more into like the supernatural side of the MCU, I'm totally here for it.
Mm-hmm.
This felt really cool. Um, Yeah, no real complaints. Oscar Isaac's two different accents that he moves between are kind of weird, but it was like they weren't bad. It was just weird to have him move between two accents, but that's the character.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, it was. I don't know. What do you want to say about it? Like the character design and the set design was all super good. It was all super cool.
I personally think that, like, just from the first two episodes, I think this is the best Marvel MCU TV show.
Yeah,
Like,
it might be the most interesting one they've done, certainly.
well, I think what I really like about it is how much everything complements each other, and like in the way that, like, there's like a theme of, obviously there's a theme of chaos, um, and how that theme is like handled throughout the entire story. Like, let's see, um, the fact that, I mean, obviously we're gonna talk about spoilers, guys. So I don't know if you guys want to hear about Moon Knight or not, but here's just like a fair warning. Is it cool we talk about
First
spoilers,
two
right?
episodes, so it's not, as I said, we're not getting deep into the show, but yeah.
Right. So, I'm gonna mix up the names of the two. So the main character has dissociative identity disorder. Uh,
Multiple personalities.
yeah,
Yep.
multiple personalities. I mean, it's I think it's called DID now, but
Yeah, but like if not everyone knows that, so
right.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So like the fact that like one personality doesn't know what's going on is sort of like that whole silent protagonist kind of trope, but it's done in like a new and interesting way. Like, I've never seen kind of like done quite like this. Do you know what I mean? And he's basically our eyes and ears through learning
It
about
is
this
great,
world.
as I said, a classic exposition tool. And we talked about this when we talked about the first episode of Halo. Is that you have one character that has no idea what's going on,
Yeah.
thrust into a world where things are already moving around him, around him or her. Yeah, I mean, similar idea here. You have one character that was not really aware of the greater world that his body existed in and his older personality existed in, but he did it.
Hmm.
Is now just becoming aware of that. So it's a great way to do handle exposition because again, the audience learns something at the same speed that the character learns something. So yeah, no, great use of the multiple personalities in kind of like a story technique, just to kind of explain what's going on to the audience. But yeah, no, man, I just think it's a beautiful looking show.
Yeah,
I
that
think that's
too.
my
Yeah.
biggest thing that I like about it. It's just beautifully shot. The character designs look cool as fuck. The set design looks really cool as fuck. It's all like super kind of trippy. It's got awesome cinematography. I don't know. I love the way it's shot. I love the way it looks. I know it seems like a superficial thing to say, but it's honestly my favorite part of the show right now.
No, I mean, I don't think that that's superficial. I think it's like there's always like tons of variety in the show, even if it's for a short period of time.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm just sad it's 6 episodes. Like we're already a third of the way done. I feel like that's not enough content.
yeah, I feel like so far that Loki has been like a close second to this show, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing that really kind of made things open up for me is, like, I was watching this interview with Ethan Hawke where he was explaining how uh he was basically trying to play opposite, because he's the villain. He's trying to play the opposite of Oscar Isaac. And so Oscar Isaac's character has multiple personalities, and like he says in the first episode, like, there's chaos in you. So because of that, the main villain is very calm and sort of like plays that opposite to him. And obviously, like, even then there's like that, the difference in like how justice should be served between Khonshu and oh my god, I don't even know what the other deity was.
Matt, oh god, I think it's Achmet. Don't quote
Probably.
me on that.
That's fine.
But
But I mean,
yeah, no, it was. I agree. It is interesting. I love the contrast between the villain and the hero right now. Although we've only really met the kind of unaware personality so far. We haven't really spent much time with so the main personality we've spent time with so
Like
far is called
Grant?
Stephen Grant. Yeah,
Yeah.
Stephen Grant, who's a British sounding former museum worker. He worked in
Yeah.
the museum in the
He's
first
basically a
episode,
loser,
which gets
yeah.
fired in the second episode. And then apparently the other personality we have yet to meet, but is currently the avatar of Kansu, and I'm sure knows more about what's going on than Steven does. Is called Mark Spector, who's
Oh
an
yeah, yeah,
American
Mark.
mercenary. So yes,
So
essentially the first episode starts out with Steven in control. The final the second episode ends with Mark in control, and I think with this third episode we're going to get more of Mark's backstory. Now that we have some of Steven's, because as I said, like halfway through episode 2, Steven finds out he has a wife, or rather, Mark has a wife,
mhm.
and that is an interesting revelation. So yeah, I think we're gonna get more of that backstory coming up, but I'm quite excited for it. As I said, I've liked the show a lot so far. It is very cool. As I said, it's if it's like Batman had more supernatural elements, this would kind of have that kind of feel.
Yeah. I was kind of annoyed with Mark's wife though, because she kind of knows that he has multiple personalities, but
She does.
she like
Is that the
brushes
impression you got?
over it like, "Oh, this is so annoying."
Oh, I didn't get that impression at all. I got the impression that she had no idea why he was acting that way. So I got the impression that she didn't understand they had multiple
Well,
personalities.
she
I think she
said,
figured it out by the end, but
yeah.
I don't think she understood it originally. Like she doesn't call him Steve until the end, meaning that I don't think she acknowledges his other personality until most of the way through the episode. So I don't know if she knew or not, but it is interesting to see kind of how their relationship dynamic changes over the course of that episode. And as I said, I'm sure we'll get more information about Mark and his backstory uh in episode 3. But it makes me sad that episode 3 again is going to be halfway through the show. I feel like this should have
Yeah.
been another 8 episode show and not 6.
Well,
But
are
yeah,
the
that's just
other
the way it ended up.
MCU TV shows, are they all like 8 episodes?
Yeah, I think some of them have been 8. I don't think I think this is the first one that's actually been 6. 6 seems to feel short.
Right.
Um,
Uh
but
but
I have to go back and check that.
so I thought I see the thing is I thought that she was saying like, "Oh, is this one of your things? Like is this one of your other, you know?"
Oh, no, no, no. So I think she thought it was one of his aliases, like he was
Oh,
undercover.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I
She didn't
I
understand.
don't think she realized that he's not aware that he's a personality. Um I thought she thought he was just undercover. So yeah, I think that's what she was saying there.
Right.
Um
I mean, I'm also like interested to see what like Khonshu like they kind of made it seem like, well, Khonshu is this just individual, but is he really truly like that just, or is he kind of just using Mark for his own, you know, uh
both. I think both. I think he's hard up for champions, so he tends to use people.
yeah.
But I think he's a guy. Like I think he's one of those people that he has things that he wants to do that are ostensibly good,
Hmm.
but he's one of those. He's a god, so he doesn't really care about how it gets done as long as it gets done.
Like objectively, yeah.
Yeah. So like the things his goals are good, his methods might not be. And actually, I was wrong about that. Apparently, Falcon and Winter Soldier and Loki are both 6 episodes. So,
Mm.
I guess 6 episodes is the count they sometimes go for. Hawkeye's also 6 episodes, but What If had been 9, and WandaVision had been 9. So I would guess I was hoping for at least 8, but no, I guess this is gonna be another 6.
I think
Um,
I think
it looks like Miss Marvel is also gonna be 6. But She Hulk's gonna be 10. So
oh
I think
cool.
it's what however they feel.
Yeah. I I I don't personally I don't mind it because I think it's sort of like the MCU's doing like what British TV shows do, you know, where they'll have like really short seasons
Short, but well done.
Yeah, short but well done. And
Yeah.
then, like 2 to 3 years from now, you'll get another season. At least in British television, the MCU TV shows haven't had a second season yet. But yeah, I think it's gonna be really good. And then I think, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see where they take it from here. I'm not too bummed about it being like, I would rather have it be 6 good episodes than like
Would, but
10
that I feel
mediocre
like that's
ones.
going by way too fast. I don't know, but yeah, you're right. I can't remember, were they hour-long episodes or were they 30-minute episodes?
I think they're like 45 to 50-minute episodes.
About them 2 minutes, yeah. So it's not terrible.
I think
But
they're just good, so they go by quickly.
yeah, it definitely felt like the pace was moving. So I mean that's what I liked about it, but it also was like, oh, it's over. I don't want it to be over. But
Um, so,
yeah, I mean it was good. It was Moon Knight is good. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, I would say watch it. If you
absolutely.
want to save it up to binge, you can save it up to binge. But honestly, just as an opinion on binging nowadays, I'm kind of leaning in towards that. Like, I feel like I don't know. I feel like a show is less enjoyable when you binge it now. Like the longer I get into watching TV, the more I'm like, you don't necessarily have to watch a TV week to week, but like watching a show all at once, like stuff starts falling through the cracks. Like you either like forget plot details or like a lot of the high notes between episodes don't hit as much.
Hmm.
Um, one of the articles I kind of posted in the group feed about kind of topics for this week or last week was like trying to figure out what the best model for like watching a streaming show should be, whether or not it's like drop it all at once, which is the old Netflix model,
Hmm.
whether or not it's like the week to week, which was the old TV model, but a lot of content networks are doing that now too, to keep buzz, or whether it's like a hybrid model. And honestly, I think my new favorite one is the hybrid model, where it's just like 2 episodes a week. Because a lot of new shows I'm watching right now are doing that. Minx is doing that,
Oh, okay,
which
okay.
which is the HBO show I'm watching. There's like one other show I was watching that was doing that. But yeah, like I think watching a show like 2 episodes at a time, or maybe 3 episodes at a time, just feels way better than having to watch the whole thing and then just I don't know. Like I feel like you're not getting the maximum enjoyment you could out of it. You're going for that like that quick high rather than that like sustained enjoyment.
Yeah.
But that's just like philosophy of television.
I kind of dig the personally. I kind of dig the weekly drop, but
Yeah,
that's just because I have something to look forward to every week.
I kind of
Um,
like it. I like it too. If a series is currently running, I also don't mind the weekly drop because it builds that like water cooler buzz, like you're
hmm,
talking about it with other people, about like what do you think will happen next week, yada yada yada. It gives you time to breathe, and of course the entire show won't be spoiled for you the next day if you go on social media,
yes, yeah.
like how Netflix used to be
Unlike
if a show
Sonic the
dropped all at
Hedgehog,
once. Oh yeah,
for
it was
me.
great. Like, what were you saying about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Sorry. So, actually, for me, Sonic the Hedgehog's ending was spoiled for me on TikTok.
Oh, really? I did. So I like. I knew there was an after credit scene. I didn't know what it's about. I could have made guesses because people saying they were getting really hype. And like I'm like, there's only a couple things in Sonic that would make people hella hype. But yeah, that would totally suck getting spoiled on that because that was I was reading the review thread for Sonic 2, which we all saw this past weekend,
Hmm.
and they were saying that like yeah, that was the best like theater pop off audience pop off they've heard since like Avengers Endgame.
Yeah,
Um,
unfortunately, we didn't get that, but
yeah,
uh,
we didn't get that, but I was pretty hype. I was pog champing a little bit. I mean myself. I don't think the rest of the theater was popping off. Sorry,
so
but
you know the big
yeah,
reveal at the end of the movie. Well,
yeah. Don't
I won't. I won't.
review like don't ruin it for our viewers. Yeah,
I
yeah.
won't. I won't. But basically, that was literally like I was scrolling TikTok, and literally the first thing you see is that. So it's like the reveal, like
Dude. So
not even before, like
yeah,
some asshole put the reveal on there, and I had to like keep. I kept like going through, and every once in a while, one of the endings would pop up on TikTok again, and I had to keep trying to skip it, And like I almost like stopped watching TikTok. And that's like I gotta go see this movie in theaters or
social media has to get spoiler tags. Like this is killing me.
yeah,
Something needs to change. I don't know. I don't know what, but like people shouldn't be allowed to do shit like that.
for real. Let me see. Did you actually want to jump into the Sonic the Hedgehog 2?
Um, yeah. So yeah. I mean, long story short, watch Moon Knight.
Yes.
That was kind of the summary of that.
Moon Knight kicks ass.
Yeah. I wanted to say real quick. Let's see. What else did I watch this week? Halo, good. Not great, not mind blowing, but I'm actually surprisingly impressed with like what it seems like they're trying to do because it seems like they're trying to make it feel like a lived in world.
Hmm.
I've watched episode 2 and episode 3 at this point.
Oh,
Um,
third episode's out?
yeah, third episode's out. It came out I think Thursday night. I think that's when it comes out. And yeah, it's weird. Like I expected a Halo show to focus a bunch on like the war or this thing or that thing I expected it to be very arch. I expected it to be very kind of one-sided in the writing. I expected it to be very just not well written or like written too much around one thing. And I think this is actually doing a really good job of trying to kind of like flesh out the whole universe, and give like perspectives and characters on like every side of like all of the different issues.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually kind of cool because it makes it feel like a lived-in sci-fi world. Like you could actually believe a lot of these characters or problems kind of exist in kind of the future society that is the Halo universe. So I'm really enjoying it so far. Like it's not mind blowing. There's nothing that's doing like that's necessarily doing better than any other show that's done in things similarly before.
Right.
But the world that these feels lived in, which is a bar I didn't think they would achieve of itself.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm looking forward to more. Like if they keep the vibe up like this for the rest of the season, I will watch another season. Because it does feel fun to watch. Like there's nothing that's like really hit kind of the highs of the action of the first episode. But I
Yeah.
think they're trying to like slow burn it and actually kind of build up the lore of the universe before they do any more action scenes. But it
Yeah.
was good. It's been good.
So are you saying I should give it another chance?
Uh, I mean, as I said, if you like kind of like slow sci-fi world building, then yes.
I do
If you
like
don't,
sci-fi.
yeah, if you don't really have the patience for like world building, then no. Because the second and third episode are not action episodes. Like some like stuff happens, but like not action stuff.
Like
Maybe horror stuff. I don't know. I
like
don't know how to really describe it.
Stargate? Is it anything like
No,
Stargate?
no, it's nothing like Stargate, but like it basically it tries to explain kind of not really the politics, but like the feel of the culture that everyone lives in, and like
Yeah.
the different kind of like factions of humanity scattered around the galaxy. And I don't know, it's good. It's got its own feel to it. Like
All
I
right.
liked it. It is if you like slow burn world building,
Yes.
like you'll like it, because it definitely feels like this is world building. Like these are the steps you need to take to make a world feel lived in.
Maybe I'll
It's
have to
just not, yeah.
sorry, maybe I'll have to like play that in the Discord or something and try to get some people to watch it. You know,
So
maybe it'd
honestly,
be
what
fun.
I would do is I would give it like 2 more episodes, and then I would try to like make through as many as you can and see if it catches you. Because as I said, the last episodes 2 and 3 are slow burn, but they're good slow burn. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
But yeah, so watch that this week. It was good. Caught up on Winning Time, which is that Lakers, like '80s Lakers biopic. Man, that show is super effing enjoyable. John C. Riley is amazingly perfectly cast. Lakers history is crazy. Like even the real life events, you're like, really, that happened? And you have, like, it's like the way every episode ends, you have to go actually like Google the shit to look it up to see if it actually happened. And then
It
when you find
did.
out it did, you're like, dang, this is even more crazy.
Yep.
Because it's just like there's an episode where like they're hunting for a new head coach at the start of the season because
Hmm.
the former head coach quit. Um, and just as they're about to lock in the head coach, like the best friend and agent of the head coach is found like dead in a trunk from a mob hit.
Holy
And you're
shit.
like, this can't be real. And you go look it up and it's 100% real.
Whoa.
So, and yeah, and in this past episode, you're like, the coach that had like just gotten the new coach they did get, which is a different coach that had just gotten them like a bunch of new wins and like their new system is working. Like he's driving down the road, riding down the road on his bicycle. Almost gets hit by a car. Is good. Doesn't get hit. But all of a sudden he goes to brake and his gears lock up. Just face fucking plant slides down the road and there's just like a shit ton of blood and you're like, holy fuck. And then you go look this up and it's like, yeah, dude, like he had a legit bike accident, was in a coma for like 3 days. And you're like, god damn, like all this shit happened to one team in like one or 2 years. That's insane.
That is insane.
But yeah, no, it's that show's super enjoyable so far. As I said, if you're a fan of basketball or even just kind of like biopic like shows that are really fun, check that out. That's another good HBO Max recommendation. Minx has also been pretty enjoyable so far. And yeah, I mean, honestly, like this has been a pretty solid month for TV. Just in general. I look forward to continuing. Hell, I even look forward to getting back to anime at some point. There's nothing that's super catching my eye right now, but like I think a new show called like Spy Times Family just came out. That looked kind of cute. I might check that out. Rising a Shield Hero season 2 just started. I might check that out.
I like the first season.
Yeah, I didn't hate it. And yeah, I mean, there's a couple other things. I mean, it's definitely got like a little bit of like edgelord for the sake of edgelord in it. As does the main character, but I mean, it was a fun anime. And like, yeah, there's 3 million other isekais that are out right now, but supposedly some of them are enjoyable, so I might check those out. But yeah, I mean, not a bad time of year for TV in general. But yeah, what were you gonna say? Getting back to Sonic.
Oh yeah, we're gonna move on to the Sonic review.
Yep.
Or quick Sonic review.
Yep.
So
we can do like a full one later if you want to have Dylan on too, but we can do like a quick one.
Sure. So what I start like Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has earned $71 million in America.
Rushing.
Its opening
Absolutely
weekend.
crushing right now.
It's making
it's already out earned. Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh, sorry. It's making its biggest domestic opening weekend for a video game film ever. It sounds like.
Yeah. It has already out earned Morbius, which is of no surprise to me, but is still super enjoyable. Because man, I'm like, I haven't even seen Morbius yet, and I'm kind of on the fuck Morbius train. Like, I'll go watch it, but bruh, it's sitting at a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes for a reason. I'm just saying. Like, there's probably a reason it was so bad. And as someone who was like, you know what, there were good things about Venom, but it was not really that good a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Venom 2. It was an even worse movie.
Wow.
And like all of it, yet they all made money. They all made money. Even Morbius made money. It even made its production budget back. So it's like, I just get so mad at Sony because they keep turning out this, like, in comparison to how well written and produced and executed the Marvel movies are, like Sony's like effectively just throwing trash on the comic book movie pile. But since it's a comic book movie, people go see it anyway, and they still make money, and that annoys the shit out of me because these movies should be better. But
to quote
whatever.
Venom,
I mean, I'll see Morbius eventually. But it's still super satisfying to see Sonic 2, which was a good movie, absolutely just shred it in the box office.
Man, I still remember in Venom 2 when, like, at the end, his like quote is "fuck this guy." Like,
epic.
That, yeah.
Great quotes of all time.
it just fell real flat.
Oh, bad. I don't want to talk about that movie. It was so trash. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There are funny parts about Venom. The Tom Hardy Venom relationship, the Eddie Brock Venom relationship being the best part. But the plotting and the jokes and the dialogue and anything outside of that in those movies are absolutely garbage, and should be regarded as such. But that's neither here nor there. We're here to talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which was fucking fantastic. This might be in my top 3 of video game movies of all time. It might even almost be at the top, but it was certainly the most wholesome, authentic video game movie I have ever seen. It really felt like a Sonic adventure. You really felt like this was the character from the video games. They captured his personality.
We lived and
perfectly.
learned.
We did live and learn. Like, they took even the like not great things about the first movie and made it better by giving it like a wholesome, well written, well thought out plot. The character interactions felt genuine. It had like a message that like family is family, like even if they're adopted. It was just fun as fuck. Like the action scenes were all great. Pretty much every action scene, every even like attack or move he used is an homage in some way to a game. From like spin dash attack types to like, other shit that happens. To like just him like flying on the plane, as you can see from the trailer, while like stuff is being shot at them. Just so like you can definitely get the sense that whoever like wrote the script for that had played the games, had watched the games, had watched multiple of the games. Like not even just the like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, the old games, but actually the adventure game series. And just oh man, like the love for the franchise and the understanding of the franchise bled through this movie, and it was fun as fuck. Honestly, I said this might be to me the most authentic feeling video game movie of all time because it felt like whoever made it understood the source material. It's almost like an MCU level of understanding the source material, but in a video game movie, which I don't think I've ever seen before.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I
Yeah.
agree. Um, yeah. But yeah, no, I thought it was really good, and I mean, there obviously I don't think it's a perfect movie, but I don't really know if I can think of another video game movie that outdoes this one, unless you do.
Nothing is coming to mind right now. And I'm kind of trying. I mean, granted, I've seen a lot of movies, but like, nothing. Yeah, that actually pulls from the pre-existing lore of the universe. I don't think there is. Like, I
Yeah, they got
enjoyed
some
it.
deep
Like,
cuts.
as cheesy as they are, I enjoyed the mid 2000s Tomb Raider movies because they
Hmm.
were just fun as fuck. But this is like that they almost had nothing to do with the actual lore of Tomb Raider. Like this actually understood the lore of Sonic, and re-implemented it in the movie, and it was great. It felt like I was watching the video games and the comic books come to life. It was just good. It was just really, really good.
I would say like if I made some criticisms, like I think it could have been a little bit shorter,
Yep.
and I wish that they had used like some of the game OSTs in it, like
Yeah.
that, like use some
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I don't know if I would have made this shorter. Maybe I would have trimmed down some of the action scenes to make the movie feel tighter because I actually liked all the character interaction scenes. I remember you saying you would have trimmed down some of the character interaction scenes. I may have made some of the action sequences a little bit shorter.
I I don't
Uh,
know if I would have like cut it out completely, but I would have changed aspects of it so that
yeah,
it would have been more enjoyable to me, just
yeah.
because of how like ridiculous some of the parts of it are. But it's also like, I mean, I suppose like for me it was also the comedy didn't really land too often, but it's also a kids movie, so it's not like I can really complain about it.
But for me, like, I agree with you that the biggest, I'm not gonna say sin, but the biggest whiff in this movie has, which isn't really a whiff, but it's kind of a whiff, is that there was not enough music from the Sonic games.
Dude, I think
Like,
if
if you're not giving me Crush 40,
yeah.
like, I don't know, like, I want the third movie, but I don't know if I want the third movie. You know what I mean? Like, where is my effing Crush 40, bruh? Why am I not living and learning? Why am I not rolling around at the speed of sound? I ask these questions, and I will continue to ask these questions, especially because it seems like they're heavily leaning into a Sonic Adventure 2 influence for the next movie. Not to give any hints, but Sonic Adventure 2 might be my favorite Sonic game. Certainly, it's my favorite 3D Sonic game. So yeah, if I do not have some Crush 40 in the next game, I'm gonna be rip shit. But
I would have
yeah,
got way
it
more
was
hype during the
yeah.
action scenes if they just started playing like Live and Learn or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like there's an underappreciation for the butt rock or the music of the later Sonic games. There was that cute scene in the trailer, and it also obviously still in the movie, where like Sonic calls up his like I'm gonna call him his dad, but like the Donut Lord, his guardian's phone, during the wedding, and it plays like the music from like I think Sonic 2. That was really cute.
Yeah, it plays Green Hill
Um,
Zone.
yeah, good place Green Hill Zone. That was cute as fuck. I loved that. That was a cool reference to the amazing music of those games. But yeah, I mean, you got to give me some of the new Sonic music, because some
Well,
of that
I
is good
mean,
as shit.
also the town that they live in is called Green Hill.
Yep, it's a reference to.
There was a lot of like Easter eggs.
There
And
was a time. Okay,
references.
so you're gonna have to go over the references because you picked up on way more of them than I did.
So there was
And
a Did you know the way reference? There was a obviously a Sonic Adventure 2 reference, like in the helicopter. There was like it said literally had SA2 on the top of the
yeah, the
helicopter.
helicopter was literally like its call sign was SA2. I loved that.
And then there was Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine reference,
Yep,
which is like a Puyo Puyo Tetris game
yep.
that is on the Sega Genesis. Let me see what else was there. Um, there was some other stuff too, but it's like it's not quite hitting me right now. There was like the ball. Well, never mind. I can't actually talk about that. But there was definitely some other things in there that referenced other games. And I feel
Some
bad that.
chili cheese dog stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yes, of course, Philly cheese dogs. But let me see. Was there anything else? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. But I mean, I honestly thought Knuckles was kind of weird.
Really? Because I thought he was great. I loved he was basically the Drax of this movie. Like I loved Idris Elba's delivery. I loved that it was a character arc for Knuckles. I loved that the whole movie was basically about Knuckles' character arc. Like Knuckles was basically like the Klingon of this movie. Like
Yeah,
heavily steeped in the culture of honor, but didn't necessarily like know whose side to be on up until the end.
except
Um,
he doesn't always get his ass kicked every episode.
yeah. Uh,
Unlike
Guy like
Worf.
nobody, yeah. Worf do be getting his ass kicked. That is
Dude,
fact.
Worf got his like ass kicked like every. He's like the security, and he's just always getting
Yeah,
bodied.
so like real talk, like Star Trek was like low key like wrestling, and like yeah, you bet the villains were just like paying Worf off to take the L
They did
for the
Worf
story,
dirty,
bro.
man.
They're
They
like
did.
Worf, you got to take a fall on this one, bro. We got to move the story.
It was always like this. Worf walks up to a attacker.
Yeah,
Worf puts his hand on them. Usually they like grab his hand and then just like throw him off to the side.
yeah.
And then
It
yeah,
was like, damn, son, they're stronger than I thought. Yeah, it was
and then
always.
somebody hits him with a barrel.
Yep.
Uh,
Dude, Next Generation was some next level cheese, but it was so much fun.
yeah,
But yeah, nah, this was real good. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but like all of the things that you weren't sure about whether or not they understood the Sonic property
they
from
definitely do.
Sonic 1, you can now be certain they absolutely do understand it. Like even me, like I thought Sonic 1 might have been like, a flash in the pan. It might have been like, they just got it right. They got lucky. Sonic 2 absolutely shows that they didn't just get lucky. Like they absolutely get Sonic. This was a great movie. And I can't wait till they do another one. Like as I said, I don't know who they necessarily want to be the villain of 3, but Jim Carrey absolutely knocked it out of the park again.
Yeah, he's really
Hell, he
good.
probably knocked it out of the park even harder than he did the first movie. If he says he wants to retire, like drive a bigger dump trunk of money up to his house. I don't know what you have to do. Like,
Like,
promise him like to work with literally the best painters on the planet.
yeah,
Just give
right.
him something. Give this man whatever he wants. Like if he wants to spend all his time painting, like give him like his own studio to present his work in. Just I don't even care. Like this man needs to be protected, and if
At all
they want him
costs.
back for the third movie, you absolutely have to do everything you can to keep him in it because he absolutely killed it.
There
Um,
he was. Did you see the interview where he's saying that he wants Eggman to be Fat Eggman in the next movie?
yeah, no, I heard about that, and I was really sad. I was like, that would have been amazing. Why didn't they go with that?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. His costume upgrade was awesome too. Um, yeah, I don't know if like I don't know what Eggman and his lackey's relationship is like I don't think they're officially dating, but if they're not, they should be. Like
there's some definitely gay coding going on there.
I don't yeah there's a vibe there like you don't know
Yeah,
if they're like if either of them are out or if they're just kind of like simping for each other as like I am impressed by you but damn brah like there's a little there's definitely there's some sparks there there's a little heat
for sure.
um
But yeah, man,
but
I would say like definitely go see Sonic the
yeah
Hedgehog 2 in theaters. It's well worth it, especially if you have kids or something like that. I think.
yeah no this was a good movie this wasn't just a good kids movie. This was a great movie, or I could say
Yeah,
it the other way around. But yeah, no, this was both a great kids movie, great message. Family is family, no matter who it is, and just enjoyable as fuck. It was just good. It was just good. And
great.
it was surprisingly good even. But yeah, no, like I want more movies from these people. Like they absolutely understand the Sonic property. This movie made that clear. And I look forward to what they're doing in the future because they definitely tease something pretty big. And if they do that in the future, that could be hype as fuck. So yeah, no, I'm
Also,
hype.
that I forgot the reference at the beginning. Like with all the at the Mushroom Planet.
Yeah.
That is the first stage of Sonic and Knuckles.
Ah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, like I don't. If you ever play Sonic and Knuckles, the first stage is like on a very like a stage with giant mushrooms and stuff. But
That's cool.
okay, so moving
Hold
on.
on. Hold on. One more thing.
Oh, go ahead.
So amazingly, and no, I can't even make that. Okay, so not until we do the spoiler review. So we'll give it a week. But there was a great fake GQ article about what Robert Pattinson did to get into character as Batman, and I'll bring that up on the spoiler cast. But it was just casting ideas for the future.
I
Um,
saw that, and yeah,
yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, anyway, moving on. Where else are we going with this?
We were the next part is at the L of the week. Um,
Okay, so
so
yeah,
you
our
want to
new
tell them about the
segment.
L of the week?
Yeah, yeah. So, just going through content ideas, going through segment ideas. uh, Matt comes up to me and he's just like, like Kanye's been taking massive L's. Like we should talk about like some of these L's Kanye was taking, and it's like, nah. We need our content to be like evergreen. Like we need like a sustainable, like content brand idea. And it's just like, how about L of the week? So
Yes.
like our new and he loved it. So like our new one of our new content ideas is basically we're gonna talk about like who took the greatest L this week. Like from wherever, social media, you know, it can be like us taking an L. Like I think the FGC definitely took an L this
Oh, for
week
sure. Yeah.
by the loss of one of its greats, arguably the hardest working man in fighting games. Um, but in general, in terms of like personal, like social media people who took an L this week, we got to give like the biggest L of the week up to Will Smith.
Oh, no doubt.
who has been banned from the Oscars Academy events for 10 years. Now, yes, it's symbolic, but it's actually kind of more than that, because like it definitely represents like the starting like I feel like this is the start of the downfall of Will Smith. Like, don't get me wrong, like he'll probably be back in doing like he'll still make money. He'll still get projects made in the future, but like this is a stain on his career that is not gonna go away. Like at this point, like it's permanent. People are always gonna remember him at this, what arguably should have been the highest point in his career. He finally won the Best Actor award.
Right.
Has to be marred by him just losing his damn mind on stage in front of millions of people.
Yep.
Not being able to keep his ego and his anger in check. It's sad to see, but like a bunch of his projects have been halted. They'll probably eventually get restarted, but I mean, like that once wholesome, like nice every guy image that he once had is now gone.
Cleanest rapper.
You act like an ass in front of millions of people. That'll do it. I still had people coming up to me saying like, "Oh yeah, that Will Smith, he's such a nice guy for not using swears in his raps." Well, he certainly does on stage in front of millions of people.
He definitely does, yeah. No fucks given.
No fucks given. I don't do with that information with what you will. But I mean, like, that's, how PR worked back in the day versus nowadays when, like, celebs have, lost the ability to discern between what's their public persona should be and what their private persona should be. And all of their business is out on Twitter because a lot of them can't keep their mouth shut.
Yep.
Which, I mean, again, I would say, I'm not going to say his wife is to blame, but man, like, she is not helping by the amount of personal information about their lives she shares on media anyway.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, like this was an own goal by Will. Like I can't blame Jada for this. Like Will was the one that got up on stage and decided he needed to smack Chris Rock in front of millions of people. So he owns this idiocy. But yeah, I mean, essentially, he he said right at the end of his acceptance speech, I hope they let him back to the Oscars, and they won't for 10 years.
Well, they will, 10 years from now.
Will in 10 years from now. So they're not letting him back anytime soon. Honestly, I mean, 10 years seems reasonable. But honestly, I'd be surprised. So to me, it does, because I mean, you can't just get up on stage and like hit the host. I'm surprised it honestly wasn't longer, especially with he tried to do that thing where he's like, I'm punishing myself by leaving the academy.
Yeah,
and
it's like, that.
You're such an idiot. Like what? Like who does that? Because that's like child psychology 101. Like if you like, this is why you like, if your parents are about to punish you, you don't talk back to them because they just make the punishment worse. It's like, it's the dumbest thing he could have done. He was just like, no, I'm quitting before you can fire me. And it's just like, no, bro, that's only going to make them punish you worse. Yep. Like they might have only banned you for like 5 years and then kicked you out if you hadn't decided to be like, I'm resigning. But since you had to be like, I'm resigning, yeah, of course they're going to make the punishment worse. Like they have to do something. They'd be seen as weak if they didn't. Like you're just being a child.
I mean, I guess what was it? Oh boy, it just you keep going, man. It'll come back to me.
Again, this whole situation is just like you hate to see it, but like actions have consequences. Will Smith, what did you expect?
Yeah.
You're just gonna get away with a slap on the wrist, and like no one's gonna do anything to you. You like, I'll punish myself. That should take care of it. That's not how the world works, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean he takes the L on this one, and he deserves it. That was a stupid, rude, selfish thing to do. I mean, it's more than that. Like physical violence. Never the answer for something like this in this way. It's never the answer for something like this in general. But yeah, it was stupid, and he deserves the L for this one.
Yeah, I was reading too that it was saying that the Academy did not announce plans to strip Will Smith of his Best Actor award, and it's unlikely that they actually have the authority to do so.
Yeah.
Because convicted criminals like Harvey Weinstein and Roman Polanski still have their Oscars after being expelled from the Academy.
Yep. So, just to recap, and like, this is for any people on Twitter or anything like that, or that don't follow the situation of like the Oscars. So, Roman Polanski is convicted of raping a 13-year-old girl. He left the country to avoid those charges. He was kicked out of the Academy for it, but he still retains his Oscar. Harvey Weinstein, if you don't already know, basically started the whole Me Too movement with how much of a sleazebag he was being to women. That worked for his production company and that he tried to cast. Like, he was so much of a sleazebag that he basically reignited the women's workplace equality movement. Because like people were like, it was like an unspoken rule not to be in a room alone with this man when you're going for casting. Like, it was that bad. So like, yeah, dude also still has his Oscar. So yeah, like the caliber of people that have been able to keep their Oscars versus Will Smith, who did something very stupid and going up and slapping someone and something that never should have been done, is not anywhere near the same. I'm sorry, like, it just isn't. Like, it should never have happened. But like, we're talking about like a one bad action versus like some next level sleazebag shit that was going on for years. Especially with like Polanski, like, he's been convicted of one charge, but he has like 5 accusers. So these people were hella sleazebags.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Obviously they would have. I think they would have stripped people if they. Again, it says here if they had the ability to do so.
Yeah, it's a very the Academy has a very weird structure, and we're not entirely sure how stripping someone Oscars would it have ever worked once the award is awarded. But yeah, I mean, considering people like that haven't been stripped, then yeah, Will Smith probably wasn't going to lose his Oscar. But yeah, I mean, I think most people have a consensus and agree that the Academy looks foolish for not immediately removing him from their ceremony. Once he slapped Chris Rock, because that was not okay. Like, you should have been allowed to even give his acceptance speech. Just be like, bro, you can't do what you just did. I'm sorry.
So,
like, you have to leave. Like, that's one of the reasons why the Academy is trying to be as quote unquote hard as they are with them, is because which they even actually put out a statement. Like, in their statement about banning Will Smith, they're saying that we should have taken action up front during the ceremony, and we're sorry. And whatever that's worth, even they're kind of acknowledging that not doing anything at the time of was not the thing to do. Because that's like, almost, it's not condoning it, but it kind of not saying no, that wasn't okay, Will Smith. Like, you need to leave. You just assaulted our host. So yeah.
So I had read that he was asked to leave, but he refused to do so.
Which at that point you throw him out. Like, that's not a. It's not.
Yeah.
It doesn't become a negotiation at that point. But apparently the Academy let it be one. And it's like,
yeah,
you get security to escort him out on a break. Like, you don't just let him stay. So I think that's even, like, I'm not even sure if that's 100% true, because how hard did they ask him to leave if he was allowed to stay? You know what I mean?
I mean, I think he just kind of like knew he was gonna win, and like
so
I mean, hell no, not today.
Yeah, so again,
I know, I get it.
Yeah, like, you run the show. They could absolutely decide how hard they wanted to press that, and they decided not to press that.
Yeah, so very gently.
Yeah, they still become culpable for it. Like, they can't escape blame by being like, "Oh, he said no, so."
Yeah,
it's your show. You have security there. Escort him out, please. So yeah, no, that's still on them. They can't escape from that one.
And I guess lastly, it says here that several Will Smith projects in development, including Bad Boys 4, have been put on hold. And I think, man, this is just like, with Will Smith, and then also the dude who plays the Flash. Like, both of these people.
We haven't even talked about the Ezra. Did we talk about the Ezra Miller situation last week? Or the week before?
No, we didn't. And it's not even on the docket. I don't think anybody put it up to talk about. But I mean, I guess we can briefly touch upon it.
So yeah, brief rundown. Ezra Miller Lord help them.
Something's
And
not right.
I'm gonna say them very specific. Well, it's funny. Okay, so he's in a movie called We Need to Talk About Kevin, where he plays like someone who's like slowly losing his mind and going crazy. And like I think right
The
now we need to talk
documentary.
about Ezra. We need to talk about Ezra. Is that how I want to make a that boy ain't right joke, but I mean the point is like okay, Ezra for the future for the rest of this article I'm going to try to use they them pronouns because those are the ones that Ezra likes to go by. But man, Ezra, what are you doing? Like what are you doing? You need help. So last year got in trouble for a bar fight. I believe maybe got arrested. I can't remember. This year, recently, I think as of a month ago, got arrested for a bar fight, got bailed out, and then within a day he got a restraining order slapped on him because I think the couple that bailed him out, he like broke into their house, like
Oh
threatened to kill
yeah,
them.
that's right. Yeah, he
Like
did.
it's
He did.
just the rabbit hole just goes deeper and deeper, and you're wondering like, bruh, what is wrong?
Yeah.
So like is it alcohol? Is it something else? Either way, like it sounds like this man need. Sorry, it sounds like they need some type of help.
For
And
sure.
it's gotten to the point where like it's brought so much bad press to WB that they're thinking about suspending any future Ezra Miller projects. So this will include the Flash, which he was basically the tool they were going to use to do a Flashpoint and reboot the DC universe. So
Yep.
I don't know how that's going to work now. Not to mention he was in Fantastic Beasts 3, which is coming out in a month. So I know he's still in it. I know they haven't removed his part from it based on the reviews. But from what I hear, it is either been a heavily trimmed down part or just been a minimal part to start with. And with all the bread press he's bringing, I'm sure the part won't continue to be big going forward if it's even there. So it's just sad to see it because I enjoyed him as the Flash. He's not my favorite. I still enjoy Grant Gustin more, who plays the Flash on the WB or CW, I should say. Sorry, I'm dating myself by calling it the WB, but no, it's just really sad to see any actor's kind of professional career be sidetracked by their own personal issues to this much of a degree, especially when it's kind of self-destructive habit personal issues, not just like outside of things that are like family situation or any other situation or I don't entirely know, but like yeah, no, it's just it's sad to see, and it sounds like they need some type of intervention, and it's gotten to the point where it's starting to affect their careers. So like I'm not going to call it an L for Esmeralda. It's just sad for them.
It's definitely, dude. I mean, I had heard that they actually did pause the Flash movie because of it.
Yeah, I
Unfortunately.
think I think they certainly are interested in like retooling the ending and seeing a way to write him out,
Oh
write
shit.
them out. Damn, I'm fucking this up today. But yeah, no, yeah, it's just sad. It's sad to see. Like I don't. I mean, every now and then, an actor has an issue, with either substance abuse or something else like that. And either they're quietly able to deal with it, or they're able to kind of keep it manageable, or maybe even keep it maybe not necessarily manageable, but keep it under the public radar. But like, their issues have gotten explosive to such an extent that they've exploded into the public radar because they've just been so insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not a fun look for anybody. It's not a fun look for the studio. It's not a fun look for them. So,
Yeah.
I hope they get their issues sorted out. Long story short, and yeah, I hope that whatever they're going through, they figured out, and the studio is able to figure out what they want to do. But I enjoyed them as the Flash, so it's kind of a bummer to watch. I thought their Barry Allen was an endearing character.
Hmm.
So it is sad to see just their career kind of go to pieces like this. I mean, hopefully they get one of those like Robert Downey Jr. style redemption arcs maybe in a couple years. But I feel like they're still on that rock bottom slide, unfortunately.
Um, And I suppose with more depressing matters, we could probably touch upon Spooky
Okay,
retiring
so
NLBC Online.
yeah, I mean, in terms of just kind of other kind of bummers of the week, and I think this is an L in the week for literally the entire FGC community, certainly the online FGC community, but um, literally the legend himself, Team Spooky, has decided to retire from doing Next Level Battle Circuit Online. Why this is significant was that this man was basically single-handedly
Mm-hmm.
popping up multiple FGC communities of current and legacy games by himself. Long story short, um, NLBC used to be one of the regional tournaments. It was held in New York by an arcade run by Henry Sen. But when COVID hit, a lot of the in-person locations had to close down,
Mm-hmm.
including NLBC, which was basically the biggest kind of local on the East Coast. Uh, at that point, Spooky kind of took it upon himself to be like, okay, well, let's still have NLBC, but we'll just host it in an online tournament form. And he took it upon himself to kind of like set up brackets, do the streaming setups, kind of manage and run basically a series of online tournaments for a bunch of games over the past 2 years. And it got huge. I think it was probably I could probably say numbers wise, it might have been the highest watched FGC quote unquote local because now it's online. But I guess it was definitely the biggest weekly. So I guess I couldn't call it a local anymore exactly, but it was definitely the biggest weekly in the country.
Yeah.
For online fighting games. Um, and it was like the man was crazy. He was running like 5 tournaments a week. It was insane. It was literally like every other day there was a tournament. Um, and yeah, I guess long story short, I mean, he just got burnt out. I mean, there's other things. There might be one or two other factors in play, but I mean, I think that's too much work for any one man to do.
Yeah.
He was literally like not just through COVID, but he was pretty much propping up the entire online FGC on his back, and like that's more work than any one man should have to do by himself.
Uh,
And yeah, he just decided that he wants to take a break. He wants to be done. He wants to try the kind of variety streaming route that other people have had success with, like Maximilian Dude, yada yada yada. Why this is sad is that it's just a massive blow to the FGC. I mean, these tournaments were where you went to see like high level play from around the
yeah.
country for most of the newer current running games. And if no one's gonna pick up that slack, you know, I don't know. The high level community atmosphere is just gonna evaporate. And like, yeah, you could say that maybe this would encourage people back to go to like physical locals, but man, cat's out of the bag. No one wants to drive anywhere anymore, bro. Like COVID might not be that big a thing anymore, but like you can't have that many people in a physical space anyway. Like online, and not to mention a lot of the people that used to live in New York moved out of New York because it was now easier to just be halfway across the country, be somewhere closer to home or where they wanted to be, and just remote in and play online.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the next logical evolution for the FGC.
That
It
was
was
the next
honestly having just
level.
a lot of online. It
Sorry.
was the next level. Online locals, or online weeklies was kind of the next level of evolution. Because I mean, you just can't have all of the high level players in the same regional location. It's just unrealistic based on other people's like job and other concerns. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not like these people were supporting themselves only on fighting games. You know what I mean? A lot of
Not
them have
many.
jobs or
Not many people do.
whatever.
Yeah.
It's still a very niche, and I think it's going to stay niche for a while, and especially not in this economy. So, I think this was the perfect way for the high level community to come together, and produce high level content as well as play high level matches. And the fact that Spooky wants to retire is just a huge blow to that entire as the hardest working man in fighting games, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
Uh,
He's definitely an end of an era for for me, and I mean, I guess even because I used to watch Next Level when Street Fighter 4 was a thing, and I remember every week was awesome and exciting, and it was just you know, I I don't think that there'll ever be there won't be another moment like that, especially for us East Coasters who I mean I couldn't stay up for Thursday morning rumbles, so uh
Yeah,
I mean it was cool. I mean I miss the Sanford Kelly Rico Suave, type moments, or watching Smug, you know, basically a whole lot of Sanford Kelly moments, watching him get bodied and then get angry. But shout outs to Salford Kelly.
shout
Um
out.
but yeah, no, I definitely I'm bummed because everybody loves Spooky, and
Yeah,
I think he got burned out a few years ago too. And I think that's when he moved to Southeast Asia, and started working for XSplit, I think.
yep,
And then
yep.
then he moved back to New York after that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
art took over in the meantime, but yeah,
yeah, I mean, hopefully, we'll get like Chris Matrix and IFC Yipes to kind of try to fill in and help out more too,
yeah.
if
As
possible.
Yeah, I'm really hoping someone tries to help step in and pick up the slack wherever they can, because I mean this is an absolutely huge blow to kind of the online fighting game community at this point. Certainly a blow to just high level play in general.
Yeah, everybody
But
loses.
yeah, this is everyone kind of takes and holds the L for this one.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, I wish him all the luck in his future endeavors. I think he's still going to work with like Tenno to try to produce content, which is another big content creator in the FGC space. Tenno had their own like Tekken weekly series running for a little while. I'm not sure if it's still running. I'm not sure how much money they were making on that. But yeah, I mean, like the margins on fighting games, like even when you're getting like 1,000 viewers, is super slim.
Mm.
So I mean, I'm not sure how much he was making through all this, but I mean, when you're burnt out, you're burnt out. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
guess he just yeah,
he's been going hard for years at this point. So
years. I said I will never not call him the hardest working man in fighting games. Like the man has an insane work ethic for just producing and making great content and getting people to work together. And yeah, it's as I said, it's you hate to see it, but I mean, I wish him all the best, and if he can rest and rejuvenate and come back and figure out a way to make the workload even easier for himself, that would be awesome. I saw some great jokes about it though, like try to make it like more lighthearted. It's just like, how will Idom pay for rent now?
oh my god.
Because like a lot of those Street Fighter NLBCs were free for him.
Ah,
So
dude, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, like IDOM don't need to worry about paying rent anytime soon. The man's still probably riding that like 6-figure sum he got from winning Capcom Cup, but still, I mean, it
We can
would have
only
been
hope.
some yeah, it would have been some nice cash on hand.
Uh,
Uh, But yeah, it's just it's a bummer. It's 100% bummer. There's no way to look at it that this isn't a sad or the end of an era. But I'm like I said, I wish Spooky all the luck in any future thing he wants to do.
big same. And I think a couple of things is just kind of wrapping things up. I think for me, it's obviously a big sign of burnout, but it's also I think it's a big sign of a toxic environment to whatever he had going on. And he was supposed to be helping the community and trying to put on exciting matches for his own personal event, that is not an official tournament. And which is fair. He can do whatever the hell he wants if that's the case. Then people shouldn't be he shouldn't have to look at it as a job or a hassle. So
Oh no, yeah. I mean that's what you're saying. It's I 100% agree. I mean he did this as much for he did for the community. He did this believe a lot because he enjoyed making content.
right.
And if he wants to do something else, then yeah, he should absolutely be able to do something else. So
um
yeah. more power to him. As I said, he doesn't exist. He wasn't put on the earth so he can make content for us. He can do what he wants to do. And he should do what he wants to do. So, yeah. As I said, I wish him all the luck and whatever he wants to do. Yeah, I mean,
I
just
guess.
go and grind it, Spooky.
Yeah, I guess starting to close out here. There's three things that I think we should touch on, really quick, and obviously, I want to talk about Kingdom Hearts 4. I want to touch
Yeah,
on
that was the big
Digimon
news that dropped today.
Frontier turns 20. And then I don't know if you ever even looked at the creator clash thing that had been going on, which is basically YouTube boxing.
It sounded, yeah.
I
What were
just
you saying?
literally wanted to touch on one thing, and I just think it's so weird. But yeah, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts 4, man. What do you think? What do you think about it?
I think it looks gorgeous. As I said, I think this is a teaser trailer. I still don't think the game will come out for another 2 years. Looks amazing though. Apparently it was built on Unreal Engine 4.
Yep.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of talk about this week, I guess we're gonna have to push it to next week, is that they just announced and made Unreal Engine 5. They released it. They made it free to use for developers. So pretty hyped about that. As an aspiring kind of quasi developer myself, I definitely want to kind of get my hands dirty on it and take a look. But yeah, I mean, man, apparently it's super easy to move things straight from 4 to 5. The Kingdom Hearts team even said they're gonna move this from 4 to 5. So this game has the potential to be even more gorgeous.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I'm hyped. As I said, I don't. Kingdom Hearts has been one of those things that, like, even on days when the story's not up to par, the style is.
for
And the
sure.
style of this game absolutely looks magnificent. So,
I'm surprised
uh,
that they've gone with a more realistic version of what Kingdom Hearts is. It's sort of like Final Fantasy 15 in a lot of ways.
yep,
Sora he looks a bit older now, like he's like a young adult.
yep.
And then I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to connect the Kingdom Hearts story to like a modern setting of like a city, or like does this mean that Sora went back to, I mean obviously he went back to his home world or whatever. And then will they actually bring in more Final Fantasy characters, or is that a dead pulse that I'm trying to tap into? Um,
Don't know. I don't. I honestly have no idea what they're gonna do, and I think that's what makes it so interesting. I don't know the story of Kingdom Hearts at all, so like, don't quote me on the specifics of this. But from what I understand, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Sora gets kicked out of the Kingdom Hearts universe and put into another universe.
hmm.
So it's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do with that, because all of the rules could have changed essentially.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
obviously he still has his Keyblade, and I don't know if if the people actually, I don't remember the trailer too well, but I mean, I don't know if the people actually see the heartless creatures, but I have a feeling that he's obviously going to make his way back to old Donald and Goofy. I mean, he's got to.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. No, very to see what they decide to do with this. As I said, Kingdom Hearts has at times has some wacky writing, but it's never not interesting, even for its craziness. So, yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with this. And as I said, as long as it's fun, I'll be there to play it. And those games are usually fun, even if the story is insane. So, yeah, I mean,
yo,
I've been meaning to check out the Cloud collection they put on the Switch. I'll probably do that eventually.
the final boss
Uh,
is Tetsuya Nomura. It's true, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
In fact, there's no way around it. Uh, he's gonna make things weird or messed up, and you're gonna have to figure that shit out. I mean, most of the
yeah,
time, for me, it's trying to understand his plot points, but to each his
yeah.
own. Uh, so I guess
I would love if some of the remake characters show up. The Final Fantasy VII remake characters. Like, I would
it's
love.
possible.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the biggest disappointment a lot of people had with 3, is that, like,
There's
until
no
the
Final
DLC.
Fantasy characters.
Yeah, until the DLC, no Final Fantasy characters show up.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 even barely had Final Fantasy characters in it. Like they were kind of still moving away from that, which is like one of the coolest things is you get to see both worlds mixed together, and they kind of they're ignoring the SquareSoft half besides the fact that Sora's a Final Fantasy OC. But yeah, I
That's
I
it. The new biggest whiff to me will be if there's no Marvel or Star Wars characters. Now that Disney owns both of those.
yeah, that would be
But
fucking rad. Uh,
yeah,
out of curiosity, August, did you ever watch Digimon Frontier growing up?
I did. That was towards kind of the end of my watching of Digimon. I think that was the last
Same.
series I even kind of saw regular episodes of, and I still didn't even finish that one. But yeah, apparently, what was it? You saw that it's the 20th anniversary of Frontier.
Yeah.
What are your feelings on that? Did you like how what was your opinion on Frontier?
So Frontier was like again, it was also for me, it was the last Digimon series that I saw, and I mean I really didn't that was kind of like when Fox Kids started to die.
Yep.
And so there really wasn't it was difficult for me to
After
see.
that, I think it was when like the CW started to die. It was whatever cartoons were not coming on anymore. They weren't coming on anymore.
Yeah,
Like it was towards the end of like I don't remember. It was I agree with you though. It was like cartoons are on their way out for a lot of channels at that point.
I think this, yeah, like you said, like the CW or it basically took over whatever Fox Kids like time slot was. And so they weren't showing like as much anime besides like, regular Pokemon, or they weren't really trying new things. Like I was a big Fox Kids kid growing up. I would watch like, what is it, like the Time Detective and like Digimon, but I would only see Frontier like on UPN or something like that, like first thing in the morning, along with like Buzz Lightyear Star Command or something like that. Um, but other than that, there was like no consistent place for me to watch it. I think it was on at like 5 or 6 in the morning. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah. It was
then
definitely on some weird times.
yeah, and that's like when they like Toonami was also dying too. It was around the same time, and then
Yeah, it says like September 2002. So yeah, I think that was kind of on the way out for a lot of American cartoons.
yeah, it was like like when they were playing Magoozy, which is like fucking trash. And
Yep.
then I mean obviously I'm a Digimon kid. I'm not a Pokemon kid.
Same.
And yeah, I mean I remember, yeah, one of the first bonding experiences we had in school was talking about Digimon, and
Yeah, me,
then
you, and Gabe Noblesmith, right?
something like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's it's kind of fuzzy, but and then I was a big fan of how the art style was because I liked how like the Digimon fused with the trainers.
yeah.
I
It was,
thought
it was
that
kind of like it was kind of like a Super Sentai Digimon, like a Digimon. They had like henshin transformations where they turned into Digimon.
yeah, and I saw the title. It was saying like regardless of how you feel about Frontier, and I was like, is it really divisive as a season? I mean, I guess it must
Yeah, I
be.
think it used to be, but now it's looked back on with nostalgia. Because I mean, everything is looked back on with nostalgia,
Right.
but especially with how I guess maybe convoluted some of the later seasons got. I never watched any seasons after that. I tried watching some of the movies, but yeah, I think it was like I think in retrospect, it's actually looked upon a little favorably now. Back when it came out, it was my least favorite of the previous 3 seasons, but I mean, it definitely had some cool ideas going for it. Like on paper, the idea of the kids turning into Digimon sounds sick as fuck. Like it still sounds sick as fuck.
Yeah.
I think the story was a little boring. In like, damn, they like those kids took L's way more often than any of the other teams. Like
Yeah.
they were kind of trash Digidest, or like they just I don't know, they weren't great at the job. But I
That,
mean, what does it take to be a good Digidestined? I don't know.
that's when they started making standalone too, where it wasn't they didn't have continuity between the past seasons.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I mean, obviously, season I think 1, 2, and 3 were like I think season 2 or whatever like had a different like a second part to it, but
Season 2 was just younger kids and friends and people that met people in season 1.
yeah, like
Or
Ty and
yeah.
I'm sorry, like TK and Kari.
Season 3 may or may not have been a different universe, but it interacted in some way with the universe of season 1 and 2.
So here's the thing is like what is it? Like Kari was like a school teacher and
Yeah,
like okay, and so they made I believe her name's Kari, and they made a character that was a teacher named Kari in season 3, but supposedly it's not the same character. Though that's the only connection that season 3 has like that could have to the original series, which is just they really fucking dropped the ball on that, like made it real confusing.
yep,
And that's just something that I heard like after, just secondhand by searching the internet. But uh I would say, season 3 was all right. It was okay. But that was again, I think that was like the last series that I watched in full was the last Digimon series.
yeah.
Um but yeah, no, I thought it was really cool and I enjoyed it because I didn't at that time. I was like, it's anime. I'm watching it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Um, Not that that's a glowing review, but I mean, did you have any other thoughts about it before we move on to the?
No, it's cool to look back on a lot of the shows that you found kind of formative growing up. And yeah, as much as I didn't watch it as much as the other ones, I absolutely did watch at least a decent amount of episodes of Digimon Frontier. And it was a fun time. So like I can't really complain. Decent show, cool as fuck concept of the kids turning into Digimon. And man, Digimon always had kind of a cooler, more interesting writing and kind of philosophy notes and all the other shit than Pokemon. It was definitely an adult show in that it took itself seriously, took its plot seriously, took its characters seriously. Whereas I feel like Pokemon was always just stringing you along to the next adventure in order to sell toys.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, for sure.
so,
Oop,
I appreciate Digimon infinitely more just because it actually cared to have a plot that moved
yeah,
forward.
Ash
So
never would win the Pokemon League because he couldn't. Because then the
yeah,
show would be over. What would he have to do next?
yeah.
I mean,
They're just no stakes in Pokemon. That's really the thing. Like it was never life or death. It was
uh,
always about like, is Ash gonna win or not?
and
And
the
do I
answer
care?
is no.
Yeah. I mean, supposedly eventually he did win, but
He broke the curse.
I stopped caring long before that point.
He can age now.
Yeah.
Um, and then I guess the last thing here is that the creator clash with that is like more YouTubers getting into boxing.
I think this is lame, but I'll watch it anyway.
Dude, they're having Aaron from Game Grumps box the
Yeah.
dude from Epic Mealtime. I think that's the
Ooh.
only fight that I care. Like, why are they like Aaron from Game Grumps? Like that dude is not athletic at all. But
I mean, I hear he's been trying to, but yeah, the whole thing sounds dumb. But I'll probably watch it.
my money is on Epic Mealtime guy. I'm just saying it right now. This is the only guy I have stakes in. Is those two fighters.
Yeah.
But hey man, if you want to watch a bunch of sweaty nerds fight each other, then here's your chance. Though actually, some of them are in legitimately good shape. But anyway, I
Yeah, that's a little crazy, but again, it's one of those things where yeah, I mean,
I
people will pay to watch it, so it happens. I
yeah,
don't know how I feel about that, but it happens.
Epic Mealtime will consume copious amounts of barbecue sauce and force feed it to Aaron Bacon upon victory. I mean, yeah, I mean maybe they'll just like come out with just a slop bucket full of food, and then they'll film a YouTube video. I don't know. Um, but yo, so I mean, I honestly in this situation, what I want to
Whoever
do.
whoever 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 wins has to do one video with the loser in their content style.
Oh right, yeah.
Oh, so if
They
Aaron loses, with his black eye, he's got to go make some food. Where if Aaron wins, they have to go do a Game Grumps video.
They have to
That'd be
do
funny.
it. They have to do a let's play.
Let's play
They,
with the face cam on.
they need to get the LA Beast in there, and then everyone just has to eat a cactus.
That would be sick.
And drink Crystal Pepsi. But yeah. Anyway, man. Was there anything else you wanted to touch upon before we close out here?
I think we covered most of it. Let me double check the list, but Moon Knight, Sonic the Hedgehog. For any Lupin fans out there, there's like a new part of Lupin the Third. I remember watching it years ago on Toonami, but I'm not well enough to actually know the whole plot of Lupin. So that's just kind of cool for a lot of classic anime nerds out there. But yeah, no. For this week, that's I'm good on issues.
Big same.
Yeah, I mean, anything else that was cool enough we can save for another week.
Yeah. So with that, guys, if you have not done so, please give us a follow. Every follow helps the channel. We're getting close to meeting our May goal of, I think it's 320. But with that, guys, I think, let's see. You can find us at this point, we're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're not on Facebook. We're on Twitter. The podcast is currently on Spotify and
Anchor.
Yep. Spotify and Anchor. And we will definitely be back next week with some more Backlog Podcast goodness.
Enjoy.
So, guys, I hope to see you soon. Peace out, y'all.
Can't wait to have you back.
Bye-bye.
Peace.